drug mugged while fentamaxing and had to be giga rushed to the ICU, intensive CHAD unit. Right. Yep, that's it. That's the video. Subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. No, I'm joking. Right, so Clavicular needs no introduction at all. Clavicular was streaming on the 14th of April at a club with another Luxmaxer called Androgenic, when he then suddenly became unresponsive and Androgenic had to call an ambulance for him to rush him to the hospital. Clavicular is actually very honest about the substances he takes. He takes Adderall as well as medicine for autism, as he is on the spectrum. And I don't remember if this is true or not, but he also takes Cat. Can't really say the full name, but apparently he takes Cat as well. And the reason why he was rushed to the hospital is because he actually took so much of it during that stream that he started ODing and having a seizure, which is honestly very, very serious, and I can't really make fun of it at all, even though, kick streamer, that's just a regular Tuesday. But I'm sure everyone has seen this clip already. I feel like there has been signs that this would happen at some point. Unfortunately, Clavicular does say that he takes a lot of these substances, and if you've seen the video of him during the interview with the Aussie reporter, he was already very out of it. So an Australian interviewer asks him why he hangs out with controversial figures like Andrew Tate, and I feel like that's not a very, of all of the things that could have pissed him off, that seems to be one of the lightest ones. Clavicular then seems very out of it, and his response is to just mumble a lot of words, and while mumbling even more words, he gets confidence mogged and just walks out of the interview early.
Too bad I didn't have time to look into, anything about potentially, who your wife cheated with. But sure, thanks for the time. Appreciate the interview. All right.
He was also seen in a strange state of paranoia back when streaming a date with Whoa Vicky, when Vicky asked him to come into her house to supposedly give him a Bible. I don't know about that one, to be fair. He instead left there and drove home, saying he feared for his life.
Setup? Are you trying to set me up? Is this a setup? I'm kind of like getting that feeling.
Maybe it's just your anxiety.
But I feel like I'm usually right about these kind of things. She was moving weird with the addresses, and then hell no.
And to me, that seems more like paranoia than anything. Once again, he has admitted before to be on the spectrum. He is autistic, and I feel like he really did abuse these substances so much that it became a problem. I don't know if they were having alcohol during that stream. Obviously, this medication should not be taken with alcohol ever. The medication for autism and ADHD is normally very strong. It's actually quite sad. I feel like off that side of streaming, on the looks maxing people, he is actually the more honest one about a lot of things, while still being a complete moron for clout, sure. But for example, of all the previous geek streamers that got into this kind of trouble, for example with Joshua Block, who I believe is more of a TikToker but still in that same kind of like cloud chasing scene, it's the first time I actually see the people around the dumbass streamer actually stop and realize the seriousness of the situation. Instead of going to continuing to clip farm, maybe even putting Clavicular's life in danger for a viral clip, they instead stopped streaming and called 911. And after becoming more responsive, Clavicular actually has posted something, and I feel that it's quite honest. All of the substances are just a cope trying to feel neurotypical while being in public, but obviously that isn't a real solution. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I feel that's actually quite normal. Again, that's a very relatable thing. I don't know, I don't see much of a villain. Just because he hangs out with controversial figures doesn't mean that he himself is such a terrible person by default. Obviously, then he goes back into character and says that the worst part of the night was actually his face descending from the life support mask, as he has a few bruises, just of course. Oh my god. It's a shame. I feel like a lot of these streamers lose sight of life very quickly. Clout is just too addictive to them. He made enough money, he can go and live a comfortable life, he can live in any country he wants. He could move out to a much nicer country, much safer country, or even to a country that has, a lot of nightlife, a very active nightlife. Instead, he just doesn't stop. He doesn't need to chase the next viral clip anymore, but he just can't help it. I think that a comment on Twitter that I read said it best, where Clavicular has done all this work to change who he is appearance-wise. That's completely understandable, but now he's also trying to change who he is personality-wise, because he is again neurodivergent. Most likely that he would be a much calmer person, have a much better life if he was just himself. So an introvert guy doing something from his home, maybe something he likes, not chasing these viral clips all the time. But because he doesn't want to stay that way, he wants to change his personality so badly by taking all the substances in, that is the result. I don't mean to make this video into some kind of philosophical theory, so instead, I'm gonna go smash the bones of my jaw with a hammer. Anyways, follow me on Twitter. Bye bye.